What's up, everybody? You awake, Les? Or did your webcam freeze? Let's see. I think you might have DC'd. Yep. Alright, unfortunate DC on Les there. He is coming back, but you know what? Those things happen, you guys, so... Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 5 of Around the Forge. It is the last episode for this week because we are a weekday talk show. And, sadly, there's a lot of stuff to talk about today. We finally, got some more high-end death clips to show, sadly. Feels bad. Yesterday, it felt like such a good day. I wasn't on all day, and it seemed like a lot of people were safe. Welcome back. It looks like, Liz might be back, or he's trying to be back. Screen sharing myself. Hello, everybody. Nope, he's not back. So, excuse me. Once he comes back, we will get the show rolling. I can talk about some stuff as well. You know what? We'll do a little brief rundown of what happened to me yesterday. So, I got called into work, sadly, at the restaurant, and I had to work an entire shift for a dinner shift, and kind of cut my day in half. Because I was going to try to do another 12-hour grind session, but I'm kind of thankful for that because I realized I need to get back to the normal scheduling, you guys. Alright, we can't be grinding the whole time, doing 14-hour sessions every day. So it really made me value my routing. And yesterday I trolled myself so hard because I was in the Barrens turning in quests and doing ladder balloon and stuff like that. And I knew I had the Ratchet Flight Path because I clicked on it after we did Wailing Caverns. I didn't know Ratchet Flight Path doesn't connect to Ashenvale. You have to have Dust Wallow, and then you do this big loop to Flat Ash. It doesn't make sense, Alliance Flight Paths to me. And what should have taken me 5 to 10 minutes as a walk took me over an hour because I was so lost. I changed my Hearthstone, got greedy, and then wasted my Hearthstone. I was so sad yesterday, guys. I had like 2.5 hours to grind, and I wasted an hour of it walking around the world. So I am super upset about that, upset at spaghetti, and trying to make better use of my time. And you know what? A great way to make better use of your time, actually, is to know what you're doing when you're going into dungeons and whatnot, so you don't have a reset, because you'd be real sad. Oh, what's up, Les? I think he's back, ladies and gentlemen.
Did you just start the whole show without me?
I did, dude. I gotta keep it flowing,
ran it?
bro. It's just...
You just let it run?
It's going. I was just talking about myself. I could do that all day, though. But,
you were like, alright, bro, I got this. Don't even worry about it.
It is
what did we do? What did we talk about?
I was just talking about myself and me wasting an hour walking around. I had the worst routing yesterday while leveling.
Routing is gone for me, by the way. There's
like,
no more routing for me at all. I just play the game now.
I was saying now that I'm kind of going back to my normal schedule, I need to be better with my routing, make good use of my time. And then yesterday, what would have been a 10-minute run ended up being over an hour. So I was like, dang, I'm really terrible at this. I'm kind of just free-flowing it again. But easiest way to not mess up your routing, you guys, is to not die in dungeons and get a quick reset because you don't know what you're doing. So, real quick, yesterday I did BFD, Stockades. I think that was it for dungeons that I did. Quick tip, you guys. Twilight Lord Kelris in BFD. This boss is so easy. Literally a tank and spank. He's the second to last boss in the dungeon. I know a lot of people haven't done this dungeon because it's really out of the way, but there's 5 quests you can do, which will pretty much give you almost an entire level by doing if you get them all done.
Yeah, people do this dungeon for sure. There's a really good wand in it as well for, like, every priest and warlock is going to want to do it just because it's part of their wand progression. So people are going to want to do this for sure. Plus, the fantasy draft gamers are always doing dungeons, so.
Fair, yep. You kill this boss, guys, and to get to the next room, you have to light these little candles, braziers, I don't even know how you say it. You have to light 4 of them. Every time you light one, a couple mobs spawn. Sometimes they're elite, sometimes they're non-elite. But if you click on all of them at the same time, you're going to have like 30 monsters on you, and you will wipe. For those of you who are new to this dungeon, just go one by one, reset, get your mana back, get your health back. They're super easy by themselves, but I've literally seen people lose their hardcore characters because they don't know what they're doing. go in and they light all the candles at once, and it's just a rip show. So don't do that. And you know what else you shouldn't do? You shouldn't pull threat off your tank on this guy. Verdant the Everliving in Wailing Caverns. This is going to be probably the first dungeon a lot of players do in hardcore because we don't have access to Ragefire Chasm. If you do, you're kind of trolling because you're gonna die if you're trying to go to Orgrimmar as the Alliance. But this is normally the second to last boss with the routing you do in Wailing Caverns, and this guy absolutely slaps you guys. If you're a warrior tanking this, please have a shield on. If you're DPSing, watch your threat meters, okay? If you pull threat off of this guy can legitimately one-shot a caster. Because I'm pretty sure it's crushing blows if you are under-leveled for him. So he's just your typical tank and spank, but maybe send a hunter pen in first.
Yeah, so if you have pets in this group, you let the pets just tank it, and you should, as long as you are decently leveled for the dungeon. So I think my group did this at like 19 and 20, and we clapped them up. But we also had 2 hunters, so we threw hunter pets in and just let them juggle the aggro. Like our tank didn't even tank it, just because this thing does clap for sure. But yeah, I mean, do I get to talk about myself at all before we move on?
Let's end it. What's up?
How are you doing today? So you were doing good, right? You're level what, 27?
I finished 28 at the end of the night. I had a little intermission with a dinner shift at the restaurant, but what did I think I went from like 22 to 28 yesterday, so I'm pretty happy with that.
I gotta shout myself out on my pump because I'm only level 24, but I've also worked full time since launch. So I've been like, so people who are like, you know, sleeping 3 hours and playing WoW again, like I'm doing that, except it's like half work, half WoW. So I'm playing like 8 to 9 hours of WoW and 8 to 9 hours of work a day, and it's just like, I mean, I know Winky and everyone else is on that same grind too. All the full-time job gamers who didn't take off this time for Classic, because I feel like there was less of an urgency to take off just because of like Road to Rag taking so much longer. We talked about this like on day one. It's like we really realistically won't be touching MC until January, right? So
January's where I want to be. So
January, which I think is pretty reasonable. Some people were saying December, but I think realistically, if you look at where we're at,
holidays are going to crush people and they're not going to realize it.
Yeah, and people are dying, man. Like, people are dying badly, right? I think we're looking at a couple people, like the first like pump wave might have 5 or 6 60s, which is incredible. But like your normal HC gamer, not even your normal HC gamer, your like sweaty HC gamers are like 20. I want to give myself credit and say I'm in there. I think I'm a little behind, but like 26 to 31. Like that's
the sweaties, and then obviously you have the top tiers, which we don't even. They're in their own world, guys. Don't be worried. Sure. Don't be worried. Staying Tactics at 46 right now, whatever he is. Gray's at 43. Guys, this is their full-time job.
Yep.
And they have a commitment on Saturday, so they're trying to get to 60 by today. So.
Yeah. Also, they're 49 right now, which is crazy.
Yeah, they're gonna be 60 by tomorrow. I bet they'll be 60. But
absolutely crazy.
We're gonna do a quick transition, and we can talk about how you got to where you're at.
Yeah, this is something that I really want to talk about because I've been in the world lately, and I have seen a bunch of you nerds with your HC guild tags trying to kill Defias pillagers at level 14. Gordon, is that not the #1 way to die?
I think I was level 17 or 18 by the time I even went to Moodburg, okay? So I was like 3-shotting them because they were green mobs for me. But yeah, like those things, what, 3 fireballs and you could be dead?
Dude, I had to pop health pots and stuff at level 18. I was level 18 and I was still popping health pots. Like, it's not an easy quest, but it's just an example of, I think a lot of people are going with their old routing. Like, a lot of people haven't done hardcore runs before. Like, you're only doing that, if it is your first hardcore run, because once you learn this little bit more efficient routing, you're going to be no-brainer. And like I said in the beginning, right now I'm level 24 and my routing's out the window. I'm just doing like easy, like I'm on cruise mode from like, especially with this 40% XP boost. I don't know if you're at this point right now, Gordon, but you're on cruise mode till your 30s at this point, right? Just because of the work you put in from 14 to 20.
Loving where I'm at, because like you said, I have 3 zones I could go to right now, and all of the monsters except like the end of the quest chains are green for me. Guys, farming green mobs is so relaxing as hardcore. And the reason every mob is green for me is because I did, as a night elf, you do Teldrassil, then you go to Darkshore. I did probably 75% of Darkshore, and then I knew the quests in Super Northern and Super Southern Darkshore you don't mess with. That's like going to Moonbrook at level 14. So I dipped. I swam to Westfall. All right, I wasted an hour swimming to Westfall, but I get to Westfall and I'm level 17. I do every Westfall quest, even the Bag of Oats, the level like 11, 12 quests. Okay, bang out the entire zone as I'm over leveled for everything. Like I said, that pumps me to like 18, maybe 19. And then I go start early Red Ridge because you have access to it. You can start Red Ridge comfortably at 16. I'm already 19. Get level 20 early on in Red Ridge because I did that extra zone instead of doing just one zone from 14 to 20. I'm level 20 now. I go bang out Wailing Caverns, Dead Mines with the same group. Suddenly you're level 22. And now I'm 22 in Red Ridge. Easy. Nothing else to say.
I went very similar routing, so I'll take you all the way back to the beginning since I died. I did double starting zones because of
oh, so you went to Elwyn?
Yeah, so the big brain play that I did because I died, I knew the Zerg was going to be in Karanos and Goldshire. So I did the entirety of the starting zone in Dunmorrow. And then I picked up skinning, because you have to go to Ironforge to get skinning. Yeah. So I picked up skinning, and then I went to Stormwind, did all the Stormwind little entry quests, like the little fetch quests. It's just like half a level, and then went to Northshire Abbey, did Northshire Abbey because it was more free, and then popped out and did the beginning of Elwyn, then popped back to Karanos and just basically juggled back and forth.
Yeah.
And then I started with the very beginning of Lochmadan, and then I popped. So you didn't do any Lochmadan?
Nope. Never been there. We talked about it. I'm not going there. I don't need it.
So I did the very beginning of Lochmadan and then the very beginning of Westfall. And I think until I was about level 15 or 16, I didn't even get to Darkshore because when you're leveling as a dwarf or a gnome or a human, you have to do the wetland skip essentially. You can either do the wetland skip or you can do the Tommy Salami deathless skip. Well, I mean, obviously they all need to be deathless. But you can do the wetland skip where you cut through the mountains and then kind of have to dodge the things. But I was so scared to do it because you have to really avoid these murlocs and these crocs that run around. So that's like the big thing in this routing.
Yeah.
You have to do this skip at some point. But once you do the skip, I got to Darkshore at like level 16.
That's such a confidence booster starting Darkshore in 16. Because it's the best questing zone early on in the game. As far as quest density goes, and with that 40% XP boost, you are probably flying through Darkshore. And you don't have to worry, you're playing third person, okay? Darkshore is a great place to be if you can see around the trees, okay? Yeah. Especially if you're overleveled, so you were definitely flying, so...
Yeah. Did Darkshore, then went back to Westfall and did all of the Dead Mines pre-quest, then did Dead Mines, did Wailing Caverns, again, right where you're at, that 21-22 range. Then went and finished Darkshore at level 20. I think I was 22. I was AoE farming the quest, straight up.
Oh, you're crazy.
Like the Moonstalkers and stuff, I was pulling 5 Moonstalkers at once. And just, like, I did Merc Deep and I AoE farmed the whole camp. Like, it's actually so much easier when you're over leveled like that. You just get to literally pump things. And then now I am level 24, just starting Ashenvale. And still have all of Red Ridge to do, basically.
That's awesome.
I've done a little bit of chunk of Red Ridge, but now we literally get to coast, Gordon. We literally get I go basically 25, maybe even 26 in Ashenvale, pop over to Red Ridge, do 27. Next thing I know, I'm doing BFD. I'm 28 now, and then
and then we have Wetlands and
Wetlands. Darkshire,
so
you literally, if you do this routing, you're coasting to 30, and I think we might even need to like take a second and like not today, but go over this in a little more detail of like putting it in steps because people just aren't doing this, and if our goal here is to kill Rag, we need everybody. We
So,
need everybody. We can't have people dying to pillagers. You know what I mean?
Monday's episode might be catch up over the weekend because obviously, guys, we're not going to be live Saturday and Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And then we might just do like a full-blown detailed routing level or video. It's never going to go to waste. You have the VOD, so people can always check back on it. So we should do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that it's like a.
Do we trust people to get like to 12 on their own and then we help them out there?
Well, I mean, the thing is, they better not walk into Westfall at 12.
Okay, that's fair.
So, because
maybe,
you want to do, and sorry, I'm just gonna nerd out about this because we don't have a ton of topics to cover on this today, honestly. So, like, you should really do Karanos and then stop. If you're like a dwarf or a gnome, do Karanos, get to level 10 or 11, then come do the end of Elwyn.
Yeah.
Go do Eastvale Logging Camp and Hogger, and then pop over to Westfall at like 13, 14. Or go to Loch Madan, because Loch Madan has easier intro quests. So you should really be juggling these zones because it makes the rest of the run so easier. You reap the rewards of this pathing all the way until your 30s.
Mm-hmm.
You're not killing yellow mobs again until you're 35, 40, to be honest.
You know what?
Think about your hardcore runs, right?
Yeah.
You really don't have to get back to like sweat super sketchy quest until you're like 35 or 40.
Speaking of super sketchy quests, you guys, we have just a couple death clips to go over, and then I think we're gonna do a little pivot, and then we'll do the drama stuff later. Let's just throw some death clips in here because I know some people they've been missing the death clips. Guys, this is Peter P. All right, it's Peter in game. This guy was one of the top levelers in hardcore, even on the realm. Just himself, he was top 10. Guys, he's level 41 right here. I don't know if he's trying to farm title charm. We're just gonna roll the clip here, and you can go over it a little bit here as well.
I just want to pay respects to this clip. I don't even want to talk too much over it.
Yeah, the owl just went straight to the... We'll just watch it, and we'll watch it again. There is no sound in the clip. So I'm assuming he has to do something in the boat, like cleanse something, because he keeps having glowing hands. And then at this point, there's 4 Naga on you. Pops the potion. Trying to see where Feign Death is on his bar, but... And that's just a rip.
Yeah, that's a rippy chippy clippy if I've ever seen one. That is really rough. See, the level 41s, this is really where it starts to hurt. You got to feel for this guy because this is a gigantic level of pump to get here. You're maybe sleeping 6 hours a pop, 5-6 hours a pop, getting up and playing again, like at this point. So you can't even really... This is just boat 101. Like, I don't even want to sit here and break down this clip because it's like, this guy's been through enough. But realistically, if this is something that you're worried about happening to you, be very careful around boats. If you're not swimming here, he gets away. Even with 5-6 mobs on him, if he's not swimming here, he gets away.
Yeah.
And then these boats, the walls are just basically non-existent. Like if you send a pet in, it's pulling everything. The walls don't do anything. It's just a very,
I'm thinking brutal. This is the boat in Arathi Highlands, see, where you get title charm, right?
I've never farmed title charm.
Yeah, so. He is. I just, yeah. Okay, so these
I've never done these quests, actually. These are all level 40 quests.
I didn't even know this was a quest, if I'm being honest.
There's a couple of quests down there. There's like 4 quests in that little cove that you can do.
Okay.
I'm assuming it's definitely worth it on Road to Rag just because of the quest XP.
So
because level 41 is still kind of a rough time.
But it also probably isn't worth it, you guys. If you have any doubts about doing a boat quest, just kill an extra 30 mobs and you'll get the same quest. That's what Crix said. Crix, we were doing... Actually, you know what is kind of funny? We were doing BFD with Crix yesterday, and he's on your team, so I low-key thought about killing him. No, I'm kidding. I would never do that. But no, Crix is gaming. But we didn't have enough quest item drops of some of the quests there. And like, do you guys want to stay for respawns and try to do it? And Crix was like, you know what? I'll get rid of these quests so you guys can finish them. I don't care. I'm here for this one quest that gives me that one upgrade, like you said.
Yep.
And I'm a warlock. I like killing mobs. I'll just go kill an extra 20 mobs, and it'll make up for the XP. I was like, you a homie, and that's so true. Just go kill mobs, you guys. I was doing the double Murloc boat quest in Darkshore. Did you do that quest?
Yeah, at level 23, all the mobs were gray, so yes.
Yeah, so I was like level 18, which they would all be low green for me. Easily doable. I got to the window, and I was like, guys, I'm probably, like, I feel myself gonna get stuck in the boat and drown. Even though they're all green, like, I would have gotten, what, 800 XP for the quest? I was like, I'm leaving. I don't care.
Hey, you're also first person, so.
Exactly. I'm like, if there was a second of a doubt, I left. And then I jinxed somebody because I saw somebody else die later there. So, rest in peace. If you ever have a doubt, don't do it, guys. This was the highest recorded death for hardcore, to my knowledge. Level 41.
It is the highest recorded death so far.
Shoutouts to Peterson, though. He's already live grinding.
Is he live?
Again.
He's going again?
He's 16 already, bro. He's 16.
No, click the stream, dude. Click the stream.
He's 16, you guys. This guy
16,
running back
he's
already.
Going again, dude.
He said, BRB in the Discord. Need a little break to reset, and then we go again. Like,
unreal,
you'll love
dude.
To see that.
Already 16. Going again. So this was one thing that I saw when Peter died. I was like, Peter going again is going to be representative of what we're going to look at, because if people like Peter don't go again, Rag's not going down. 0% chance. People need to go again.
Key, like when I get tired, I'm thinking of just starting my second character, and maybe you and I, like you said, we were thinking about doing a duo. So maybe we start our second character soon, even if we're not 60 on our first. Like I want to have a second character ready to go.
Yeah, I agree.
So I don't have that sadness. We go again. And speaking of go again, we have Bornless 0 here on a paladin, level 38. This is kind of an untalked about part of hardcore here.
Because it's a new revelation, right? I think only the real sweaties are doing
recently,
this.
I do it in one spot where I know it's going to take me. I've practiced a couple others, but I don't see myself ever needing to use them. But basically, ladies and gentlemen, you can log out skip in this game, where if your character is ever in a cave or in a building and there's something you could essentially stand on where it doesn't register where your feet are in the game, if you log out and then log back in, it will either take you to the closest graveyard, it'll take you to the closest portal, so you can do this in the deep run tram. Basically, you get 50% of the way from either Stormwind to Ironforge or vice versa. You log out, log back in, it'll instantly port you to the portal because you're standing on a tram and it doesn't know where your feet are, because that's just the way it coded. And here he's going to try a logout skip where he's in the deep cave in northeastern Arathi Highlands, killing those, I don't even know what you call those monsters.
Kobolds, right?
Kobolds, yeah.
Yep.
And sadly, instead of going to the graveyard, he gets ported to the Arathi Basin portal.
Real.
In Hammerfall, which is right there. It does make sense that this happens to him. I like the instant bubble. This isn't his live reaction, by the way. He's going back and recording it for the clip because he was on YouTube. Yes. And yes.
What? I haven't seen this yet, but what is it supposed to take you to Refuge Point?
I don't even know if it would take you to Refuge Point. I'm trying to think where the graveyard is. The graveyard is, the elemental, like Stonehenge between Hammerfall, and I think that's the closest graveyard. But I genuinely don't think he knew to think about the Arathi Basin portal in Hammerfall, because I said, it's either portals.
Is this one of those? Is this one of those like Diagon Alley moments where it could take you either place, or is this only going to take him to this portal?
I'm pretty sure if you do this again, it's only Arathi portal.
Okay.
And I genuinely think I'll have to ask him, and maybe we can get confirmation for like Monday's episode.
Yeah.
He did this thinking he was going to a graveyard, because who thinks of an open world portal like that? There's only probably 6 open world.
So is that how death skips work, or is that how not death skips? Is that how they work? They take you to the nearest like respawn location.
It's or portal. So, hang on, my cat is literally trolling. Get out of here. He's attacking my computer. So yeah, there's what 6 open world portals because you have 2 Warsong Gulch, 2 are at the or yeah, 2 are at the basin and 2 outside valley.
Unreal, dude. Yeah, I
So
mean, is that just that must just be like an untested skip then,
yeah, I
right? So he just went for it,
and he went
which
for it, and that's a 38 pally gone, guys, because of a death warp skip. Cool. I will say a mishap. It's not an accidental like. Oh, it teleported
because
me
there's a
wrong.
couple skips that
They're
there's like
insane.
a 1% chance that it could just teleport you to somewhere like Searing Gorge or something like that. Like there's a couple
Yeah,
skips that like 99% of the time take you where you need to go, and then 1% of the time just wreck you, and people still do them. But then this one, like this one seems like it worked as worked
intended.
as
Yeah,
intended, but
and just
this wasn't the intention. Yeah.
exactly. So I after seeing this clip, I don't know if I even want to do the deep run tram skip because you save legitimately like 12 seconds.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
not
just gonna AFK, sip some
yeah, I'm just
water.
gonna chill out. Yeah, I don't do these skips. I don't know the skips, so I don't do the skips. So
Speaking of doing skips and not chilling,
yeah,
what
so
we got some drama.
we were gonna just have a talk. Let's sit down.
Well,
We're
we're
just gonna
saying.
have a conversation about some of the a recent drama, I suppose, is a good way to put it. We got Dramarama in the title, so clearly we're gonna call it drama because we need views, right? But yesterday there was a bit of a ruckus in the Twitch chats of Jokered and Tactics and Tommy and Cargos and Grays. That's where a lot of the large amount of the viewership is on this event is within those people. And
Mm-hmm.
what happened was people started kind of yelling a little bit about Tommy and Tactics because something happened. Something did happen, Gordon, and a rule was technically broken. But I think we'll kind of have to see what's going to happen about that. So what happened was Tommy went to go get his mount at level 40, right? Went back to Stormwind, got his mount. While he was in Stormwind, Tactics stayed at their location where they were at,
Mm-hmm.
and actually, I think, is on VOD killing a couple mobs while Tommy was gone. Um, so technically, this does break the duo rule, and this has always been a thing in hardcore where people love the rules. Like people are very stringent about the rules. They will question the rules. They will try to call a streamer out on rules XYZ. So this is nothing new to hardcore, Gordon, but I think this is the first time that the masses have been exposed to something like this where the rules start to be, if there's a slip up in the rules somewhere,
Yeah.
then the masses, this is the first time Joker's chat has been exposed to it on such a grand scale, and I think we're starting to see the fallback of that. This is something that I haven't seen too much move into today, but at the time yesterday, it was something that was pretty big, and I kind of just wanted to talk about your thoughts on it, and I'll kind of go through my thoughts on it as well.
So, 2 things. One, 3 things, I guess. I've never done a duo, so I haven't experienced this yet. Maybe you and I will experience this in a little bit. This was brought up pre-launch, like day before of launch, where in our Discord of all the content creators and whatnot, we talked about duos and how crazy is this particular rule going to be, especially if you have something like a druid class, because druids have to go to Moonglade all the time to train, and that's teleporting them across the world. Obviously, your duo can't get to Moonglade until like level 55 when you go through the Furball camp. But in general, they said this rule is not going to be too crazy. If someone has to go leave to a city and do something, and your hearth is on cooldown, you can stay in the zone and you could like work on crafting or something. It's non-essential to your route. Basically, you could fish, you could do first aid, cook, whatever. You're technically, like you said, not really supposed to grind mobs or do quests. You could go around and like gather quests, and then your partner comes back and you can trade them all to them. But you're technically not supposed to kill mobs and stuff. So it's 50-50. And you know what? If they decide as a community of like the people running it and admins and stuff, they say, you know, it's fine, kill a couple mobs if you have to catch up, because there might be a little bit of XP disparity because you have class quests, stuff like that, where the other class can't do. I don't see a big issue of just grinding mobs, but I think if he's progressing through quests and whatnot, it can be a little mid-maxy. Like, why not just wait 10 minutes for him to come back? But these guys are like trying to get world first 60. So in my opinion, I think people are just making drama out of nothing in this case. A lot of people, as Winky said, are doomers in this community, and they watch people, just Twitch culture in general. It's not too bad in the hardcore community. We honestly have a dope community, but there's those vocal minority people who want to see the world burn. They want to see us not even get to Molten Core ever. So any little bit of drama they could try to spark, they're gonna be popping off in chat.
Yeah, I think this is like something that we need to talk about in terms of the nature of the rules as opposed to just the verbiage of the rules. Because yes, technically, and here's the thing, I think Tactics would even tell you, yeah, I shouldn't have killed mobs there, but Tactics was also awake for probably 60 of the last 62 hours, right? Like literally just delirious at this point. So maybe he killed a mob or two. And realistically, yes, this is against the verbiage of the rules, but it's not against the nature of the rules. And I think that's what the rules are for. The rules are intended to be death equals elite, solo self-found, and duos stick together. Like those are like the nature of the rules. Yeah. So nothing was broken here with an intent to break the rules. I think that that's something that's really important when you look at hardcore, is like realistically, we're just trying to have fun. We're just trying to play this game mode. It's a community game mode. It's not the crazy, doesn't need to be crazy, sweaty rules police. Like, it's just an event to do to have fun at the end of the day. So, realistically, I think the nature of the rule is really important here. And I think what could be really cool, too, is if the hardcore community sort of, especially now that we're so much bigger, kind of either puts out an announcement or something that any things like this will be reviewed by the mod team, right? Sure. Because they are reviewed by the mod team. Like, the mod team's going to take a look at this, like, still, because the rule was broken on stream. They'll probably talk to Tommy and Taxis about it when it's their 60. Like, it will be reviewed, but Twitch, like, that's such a much easier way to quell. Obviously, the super loud rule break Andes in chat are still going to say their things. Yeah. But everyone who's on the middle ground of like, oh, a rule might have been broken, this might be an issue, that'll be solved. Because you'll be able to say the admin team will take a look at this. Like, there's a clear protocol for what the admin team does.
I'm going to tell you what the admins are going to say. This was 5 mobs max. I don't know how many he killed. Out of probably 100,000 plus mobs you're going to kill out of the run. They will not disqualify you for a 0.005% slip up of your 1 to 60. It's just not going to happen. Because this is one of those... It's a pretty definitive rule, but there is a little gray area to it. It's not game breaking. On my run, when I got to 60, PvP was still allowed. I was kind of tweaking the system. It was the adrenaline rush of being a 1 life character for me, being in a battleground. I got to rank 5, you guys. I did like 50 battlegrounds, risking my life every time. I almost died to Twinks sapper bombing me. And I still kept doing it, but because I really wanted the PvP rewards. And this time around, they specifically said absolutely no battlegrounds because it's against the nature of the game. They changed that rule because you had people like me selfishly going in there in stealth. I was still capping flags and fighting and whatnot, getting killing blows. I wasn't totally AFK, but if I ever felt like I was going to die, I just simply AFK'd out of the match. They said that's kind of unworthy for the nature of PvP. You shouldn't be going in there and having that escape. You should be able to fight to the death as the other multi-lifers do. So they just banned battlegrounds. I was like, okay, cool. That's a definitive yes or no. I'm not going to try to bend that rule anymore. No battlegrounds this time for me. I was going to do battlegrounds, but stuff like that where you have that 100%, this is a rule, there's no way around it. You can't complain with that. And then there's some of those rules, like you said, where it's the nature of the rule, the challenge. There is no 100%. You can do this or that. That's why that stuff gets reviewed, you guys.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the equivalent of like if no battlegrounds were a rule, you queued a battleground, got in, and instantly left. Yeah. Like if you didn't even experience a battleground, like they're probably not gonna, you know what I mean? Say you queue a battleground and you're like, oh, let me check to see if battlegrounds are illegal, and the next thing you know, you're in, and you see it, and you leave. Like, they're not gonna forfeit your entire run for being in a battleground for 10 seconds. It's the same concept. Like, We just want people to play the game mode and have fun, and that's realistically what is going to happen. So I think if, you know, the big names kind of come out and say, hey, listen, the mod team's going to review this, which is what Cargos did on stream yesterday, right? Yeah. But Cargos shouldn't have to do this 24 hours into a stream. It should be in the Discord. It should be known. Like Twitch chat should be like any reasonable
anything
person in the
like
community
this
should be able to be like,
at.
the mods are reviewing it.
Yeah.
Boom. Like, don't worry about it. Mods are reviewing it. No big deal.
There's a legitimate team of mods, you guys, that goes and verifies all of these problems. There's one guy who started one of the guilds, and he personally took like 10 hours out of his day, out of his launch day gameplay, to just sit in Stormwind and invite people and ask and answer questions about hardcore. Like, they are committed to helping you guys have a good time in the community. So, like Les just said, if there's any question, it's not up to Twitch chat to dean it.
Yeah, right.
Okay? It gets looked at, is all we have to say.
And there's more new eyes on hardcore than there's ever been. So Twitch chat's going to be incredibly unruly. Do you remember the SM drama back in the day? Like, I'm talking maybe like...
Was there a disconnect or something? And
no, it was like Gray's Druid or Shaman run, like, where everyone was like, oh, well, if you do Graveyard, you have to do all of it straight through. Like, you can't do Graveyard and come back. Like, there was like a big issue about like whether or not SM as a building was one dungeon ID. Yeah. Everyone was like super like, if the dungeon resets, you can't do the rest of them. And it's like, everyone was like, this was such like a long drama fulfilled thing, and it just is example of like how the community will like nitpick on like, you said one dungeon ID, and it's just like.
And then that quickly got changed to the simple way to shut all those people up. Each one is their individual ID.
Yeah, but technically in the game files, it's all one ID.
But that's why we have our own rules.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, yeah. So stuff like that, yeah. Like they do the best to their ability to make the rules so night and day, you guys. And there's one or two rules that might be dusk, might be dawn still, but just have fun, guys. Try not to cheat. There was something I did in my run where I was like, oh dang, I didn't know like that did a thing. Like, I had to open a mailbox to get a quest item or something. I did that, and then I was like, oh my god, I just realized I opened the mailbox. And like, yeah, mailbox is actually fine as long as you're not receiving or sending anything to like other players or stuff like that. I haven't clicked the mailbox now. I think I had a quest item and I just didn't do it because I didn't want to deal with it. But
yeah,
little stuff like that. Like, if you have any ounce of doubt of your gameplay, just go ask somebody.
Yeah, they'll be able to help you out.
You're chilling.
Well, that was a good conversation, Gordon.
Yeah.
Thank you for clutching up the intro today.
I'm
sorry. My computer, literally, you were like, it was like super duper laggy. All I heard was, I'm gonna go live. And I was like, I was spamming the chat. I was like, no, Gordon, DC,
yeah,
DC.
I hit the live button, you guys, and I look over. So I can't see my Discord with how my setup is, but I can see the little icon, and I've just seen the number go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 messages. I'm like, oh god, he definitely DC'd. And then I look over and I'm like, oh, yep, it's messed up. So we seemingly, every time we wake up in the morning, you guys, everything looks great, and then as soon as we hit that live button, someone DDoS.
I have to clear up some hard drive space. I think what happened, my hard drive's just full, and my computer just goes, never mind.
I might do that today too, because I felt that too, and not just for the show's sake, but for our live's sake.
Yeah, more importantly for our live's sake, man. I don't want to. The show will be all right, but the characters are more important than the show at this point, man. I'm too deep into these characters.
True.
So.
But
but maybe we'll get a duo started soon, just as a backup plan. The only thing though is if our mains die and then the duo's the main source.
We're stuck doing.
Yeah, we're stuck doing, which isn't a bad thing, but that's time. We'll see.
True, guys. Make sure to join the Discord.
Yep.
Check out the VODs on YouTube. Do the guides. Just be safe out there. Reminder: we are back Monday. We have the next 2 days off because we're a weekday talk show. So, lots of stuff to potentially happen over the weekend. Let's do a real quick prediction. Where are we at on Monday when we open up? Do we have a 60?
Oh, we have a 60. 100% we have a 60.
Do we have...
How many 60s do we have? We have 360.
A group... I'm going to say we have a group of 5.
Yeah, I think
so, too.
too.
And they're attempting endgame content.
Yep. And Joker hangs out with them.
and
Jokered will stay, and
they might regret
Jokered will
doing
stay. Jokered will stay into the endgame content for sure.
Okay. Well,
So
there it is, guys. We'll see where we're at on Monday. Be safe out there, please. Avoid boats.
yes.
If you have a doubt, don't do the quest. And we'll
yeah.
be back Monday at 8 a.m. So
All right.
catch you guys then. Peace.
See ya.